my kindergarten friends. You guys are doing such a wonderful job with all of your science work. I'm very, very proud of you. Today we're going to continue talking about living things. For a while we talked about plants. We planted the radishes, and I am going to give you an update on those radishes right now, okay? And then we're going to move back into animals and what they need to survive.
All right, boys and girls. So it's been a few weeks, I think about 2 or 3 weeks, since you've seen the radishes. And this is an update. This is what they look like. It's been about a month total since I've planted them. So this is what they look like. I'll just tip it back a little bit so you could see how tall it's grown. This is the one that was in the sun the whole entire time, right? The leaves are nice and green. The stems are a little bit red down at the bottom, you might be able to see, right? And they're getting more leaves. Before there was just like 2 leaves, now there's like 4 on each of them. And then over here is the radish seeds that were originally in the dark, right? Miss Millerick put aluminum foil around this one so that it could not get any sunlight no matter what. And what happened was when we unfolded that aluminum foil after a week, the radish plant had grown, right? Remember that it had grown, but it didn't look healthy. The stems were white, and they still are. If you look, the stems are still white. And the leaves were a little bit yellow. Now, since then, I have let this plant be in the sun with this one. I decided not to put it back in the dark. I have let it be in the sun. So we'll turn this around because this one went in the sunlight. And since then, you will see that the leaves are not yellow anymore. The leaves are definitely green, like this one. So it tried to come back to life. It really, really did. But I don't think it did. Do you guys agree with me? Do you believe that it hasn't come back to life? I mean, look at them. They're wilting downwards. These ones are wilting a little bit too, but they're still growing up. These ones, I don't think they're going to make it. So what we're going to do, since this is the last day I'm going to show you the radish plants, is I'm actually going to pull this out and see if we have any signs of a radish. Let's see. Take the dirt off. Any signs of a radish? Do you guys see any signs of a radish? At the end of that stem, there are just roots. So sadly, this one could not come back to life. Let's double check this one too. And I know there were originally 3. You guys might have noticed that there's only 2 now in the darkness ones. It's because one just like completely fell out of the pot. It was so wilted. What I'll do is I'm gonna keep 2 of these. I'm gonna allow 2 of these plants to continue to grow, but I'll pull one out and see if we have any signs. What about this one? It's wilting anyways. I'll pull one out and see if we have any signs of radishes. It might be too early though. Nope. No signs here yet either. So I'm gonna let these 2 continue to grow. We'll see what happens. But from this investigation, we can definitely conclude that plants need sunlight to grow. So back to animal needs. Let's go over what we talked about last week. So if you look over here in the corner, it's very small, but it says animal needs, and the K just stands for kindergarten, right? We were talking all about what animals need for survival. And here's the photos that I showed you last week. We talked about how animals need their shelter. All animals have a space where they sleep, they find safety, right? And there's just a picture of a bear, and he is in his cave. But other animals have other types of shelters. Maybe you can just pause for a second and think. Like, what about a bird? What does a bird's shelter look like? A bird shelter is their nest, right? And then we also know that animals need food to survive. They need to eat, and food gives them energy, just like food gives plants energy and it gives humans energy. And then animals also need water They need to drink water. And that is a picture of a cloud, and there's rain coming out of it because some animals get their water from the rain, but animals could also get their water from like a pond or maybe a bowl of water, like a house pet would, right? And then we also know that animals need air to survive. They need to breathe, just like humans do. But what we learned last week is this one down here that's underlined. Last week, we learned that animals need safety. Let's go over the three animals that we learned about and how they keep themselves safe. So, in our mystery last week with Doug, he showed us how snails find safety. And what they do is they pull their eye stalks into their shell. So, if they feel intimidated by another animal or by humans or whatever it is that's making them scared, they pull their eye stalks into their shell. Then Doug showed us a praying mantis. And what praying mantises do when they feel scared or intimidated or they feel like they need to defend themselves is they open up their arms and they look big and fierce. Remember that? How normally a praying mantis just keeps their arms down by their side, but when the person came and started to look like they were about to poke the praying mantis, they open up their arms and they look big and fierce. Lastly, we learned about how some animals, like a gopher, for example, have to go into their holes. They go underground into their homes when they are looking for safety. So before I send you off to your follow up activity for today, we're going to do some practice work together. And we are going to practice continuing to talk about what animals need to survive. And we're going to practice with our predictions. Do you guys remember that word? Prediction? We used it all the time in Miss Millerick's classroom, and you probably used it in your own classrooms too. Here's that word, prediction. And remember, a prediction is a really good guess about what you think is going to happen. A really good guess about what you think is going to happen. And the reason why it says a really good guess at the beginning of that sentence is because remember, you want to use all the information that you have up here in your head when you make predictions. Okay. You don't just say, I think it's going to snow tomorrow, because we know it's not going to snow tomorrow, right? If you use the information up here in your brain, you can predict that it's probably going to be somewhat of a nice day tomorrow because we're in the season of spring. Right? So today you guys are going to practice making predictions as well. All right, so we are going to do this worksheet together. At the top, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it says all living things need food, water, and shelter to survive. A fact that we already know, but let's practice first making predictions about what these animals over here need, okay? And then we are going to work together and draw the line over to whatever it matches on this side. So it says, look at the animals below. Draw a line from each animal to the shelter it lives in. So it's home. And the first animal we have right here is a bird. So there's a barn home, an underwater home, a nest home, and a real home, right? Like one that humans live in. Which one of these shelters do you think the bird lives in for survival? After you make your prediction, maybe you want to shout it out, right? Birds, shelters are nests. All right, next is a horse. Is a horse's shelter a barn, underwater, or a home? Make your prediction. It's a barn, right? That's where they go to sleep, to find warmth, to find safety. Okay, last two animals are a cat and a fish. Where is a cat shelter? Well, some cats can be house pets, so a cat shelter could be a house. And then lastly, the fish. Make your prediction. What is a fish's shelter? It's underwater, in the seaweed, in the coral, things like that. And then what you could do on your own, down the bottom, it says, what kind of food does each animal eat? That's another part of their survival. So you can go ahead and you could talk about what type of food each of these animals eats. Okay, so I have another worksheet that we are going to do together. This one is about animal movement. So just like the snail and just like the praying mantis and just like the gopher, animals find safety through the way that they move their body and the behaviors that they have. And the fact says animals move from place to find food, seek shelter, and escape from danger. We know that. Some animals, such as rabbits, move very quickly, while others, such as snails, move slowly. Some animals run, while others hop, crawl, swim, or fly. Look at the words beneath each picture below. Circle the word that describes how the animal in the picture is moving. So these animals that we have, a spider, a dog, a bat, a kangaroo, and a fish, we have to talk about the way that they move their body to either find food, seek shelter, or escape from danger. So find safety. Okay. And remember, we're making predictions first. And it's okay if your prediction is wrong. You just want to do your best, make your best prediction that you can. Let's do the spider over here first. And the two words underneath spider are fly or crawl. What does a spider do to find food, seek shelter, or escape from danger? Does it fly or does it crawl? Make your prediction. The answer is crawl, right? Spiders crawl with all their legs very, very fast. What about a dog? The words underneath dog are fly and run. How does a dog find food, seek shelter, or escape from danger? They run. Dogs can run very, very fast. Okay, what about a bat? Swim and fly. Those are the two options. How does a bat move its body? Does it swim or fly? The answer is fly. What about a kangaroo? Does it hop or does it run? Make your prediction. What do you think a kangaroo does to find safety or food? It hops. Kangaroos can jump very high. And then the last one that we have is a fish, and the options are fly or swim. How does a fish move its body to find food, seek shelter, or escape from danger? Make your prediction. The answer is swim. Great job, boys and girls. If you got all 5 of those correct, wonderful. If you didn't get any correct, that's fine too. Because remember, when we make predictions in science, we just do our best. Hi guys, so I'm going to give you a very quick overview of the activity that I have planned for you. Anytime this week, you can do it. And here's how it goes. So the name of the activity is Kindergarten Animal Nature Walk Prediction. Remember, we started working on our predictions towards the end of this lesson today. So the direction says to draw what you think you will see on your nature walk. So what I want you to do, like I said, anytime this week is go for a little walk, and it can even just be in the yard space that you have. But I want you to think about what animal you might see on your nature walk. Okay. And think about all of the strategies that Doug gave us last time. He said to be quiet and listen. He said to look down at the ground for footprints. He said sometimes you might have to gently pick things up. So you know what's around your house. Make a prediction first and draw what you think you'll see. Okay. Afterwards, when you come inside, if you want, you could do this part. It says, draw what you saw on your nature walk. And if it's the same exact thing, maybe you just draw it with added details. If it's different, go ahead and draw what it is that you actually saw. Okay, I hope you guys have a fun time exploring, and I can't wait to see what you notice and observe.